Focus Features and Blumhouse present Obsession.
When I have a crush on a guy, no one knows.
Be careful
I wish Nikki loved me more than anyone in the entire world.
who you wish for. Obsession is 96% fresh on Rotten Tomatoes.
I love you so much.
It's blood-soaked nightmare fuel.
What kind of spells you put on her?
You have been warned. Obsession. Rated R. Under 17. Animated without parent. Only in theaters May 15th. With special engagements in Dolby.
I'm Jessica, and this is Daebak K-Rambles, where a couple of friends review Korean dramas. And we're back for another Season 6 episode. We're going to review Pachinko Season 2. For this episode, I'm joined by Caitlin from NoSleep4Dramas Podcast. Hello, Caitlin. How are you doing today?
I'm good. I'm very excited to talk about Season 2.
Because this ended up on the Drama Trio wrap-up episode on Tea and Soju podcast that we did. This was tied with your number one drama of 2024.
And ironically, both of my number ones were American-produced dramas.
Yeah.
Your typical Korean-produced or whatever produced. But yes, this was tied with number one.
So I was like, Caitlin, we got to get together. We got to do a review on Season 2 of Pachinko, because I did a review on Season 1 3 years ago now, but 2 years ago in 2022. And I remember immediately I pressed publish on that, and then I went on a vacation. So that's how I remember my podcast episodes. It's like, oh, that came out before this vacation. You can see I really love taking my PTO. But so that episode featured the ladies over on Crash Landed on K-dramas, and they so graciously joined me for that episode. It was really chaotic. I was the only one who had not read the book, but the rest of them had read the book. And so they had a very unique, different perspective than I did. And on this go around, I was like, Caitlin, let's talk about it, because I know that you loved it.
Absolutely.
I know that you loved it, and you probably have a lot to say and want to get off your chest about Pachinko. I've stayed up till 2:30 in the morning to watch it, and we're prepped and ready on this thing.
I watched it while it aired. So I did not binge this, but I watched it while it aired.
I binged it. I mean, story of my life. I binged it. But before we get into our deep dive, if this is your first time listening, go ahead and subscribe on your favorite podcast app. We're on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Podcasts, and many more. And if you like us, please give us a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts or Spotify. That goes such a long way for us. Come check us out on social media to stay up to date on our latest episodes and reviews. You can find me on Instagram and Facebook, basically right now at Daebak Pod, DAEBAKPOD. Lastly, if you're a fan, please consider becoming a patron. It's a great way for you to get involved and show your support. You can check out the page on patreon.com/DaebakPod. And shout out to our patrons: Janet, Curtis, Bale, CD, Cindy, Alana, Grace, Lorna, Sammy, Caitlin, Julia number 1, Michelle, Tanmei, Marta, Delphia, Maria, Sarah, Julia number 2, and Pam. Thank you guys so much. All right. Are you ready? Are you sat?
Oh, yeah.
Caitlin?
Oh, yeah. I'm ready.
Bet. So here is the Google/Wikipedia synopsis that I edited down 2 years ago for Pachinko. It is basically the same synopsis. All right, it's just a continuation of the story, but here it is. Based on the New York Times best-selling novel of the same name by author and journalist Min Jin Lee, Pachinko is an American TV drama, a sweeping saga that chronicles the hopes and dreams of a Korean immigrant family across 4 generations as they leave their homeland in an indomitable quest to survive and thrive. Season 2 aired last year, 2024, from August to October. Season 1 aired from March to April 2022. And both seasons, or each of the seasons, is 8 episodes long. The directors for this season are Leanne Wellham, Arvin Chen, and Lee Sang-gil. They have each directed about 3 episodes. Leanne directed the first 2. Arvin directed the next 3, 4, 5. And Sang-il directed 6, 7, and 8. The showrunner / series creator is Soo-hyo. She has been a writer for The Killing, and she wrote Pachinko Season 2 along with 8 other people per the IMDb. You can tell this was a writer's room. The starring cast, we have a lot of returning actors. Jin Ha plays Sunja. Lee Min-ho plays Hansu. Youn Yuh-Jung plays Sunja, the older Sunja. And Jin Ha plays Peck Solomon. There's a lot of cast members in there. And here, like, there's a 1989 cast. There's a 1945 cast. And there's just so many people on this roster that it would take us forever to kind of go through everybody and what they've done before. So did you recognize anybody from this cast, or did you want to talk about anybody in particular? I think I heard that you're a Lee Min-ho fan.
Oh, of course. I mean, yeah, there's a ton of people in this cast. Whether you're obviously, if you're a K-drama watcher, you're going to recognize a lot of people, like supporting lead people. I mean, they pulled everybody in pretty much, old and small. The actors who play the children you would recognize. The actors you play like sister-in-laws and brothers-in-laws and all that stuff you'll recognize, especially if you've been watching K-dramas for as long as we have. And then of course you have Lee Min-ho and Kim Min-ah, who are pretty prominent in the K-drama landscape right now, especially Lee Min-ho. But even like Youn Yuh-Jung, she's been around forever, forever, and you would recognize her from her movies. I mean, she was.
Did she? I think she won the Oscar for Minari.
I think I was about to say, I know she was nominated, but I'm pretty sure she won the Oscar too for that movie, which is a big accomplishment within itself. So yeah, I mean, I definitely recognize a ton of people just from watching K-dramas.
Yeah, and Anna Sawai.
Yeah, Anna Sawai. I did not know her before Pachinko. And then, of course, she was in Shogun, and that she got a bunch of Emmys and stuff for that.
Well-deserved.
And nominations. Well-deserved, absolutely. And she should be getting awards for this show as well. But I did not know her before Shogun and Pachinko. I know she's done another movie on Apple TV that I really want, or a show that I really want to watch, the monster one. I can't remember the name of
Godzilla. It's a Godzilla thing, right? Monarch?
Yeah, it's like Monarch, something like that. I really want to watch that, so she's in that. But I mean, you got the guy from Kingdom, for example, the gun runner guy from Kingdom. You got Jung Eun-chae, who's been in, I think she was with Lee Min-ho in King Eternal Monarch. Kim Sun
Sorry,
the guy from
I
Kingdom.
did not mean to laugh just straight up at King Eternal Monarch. All right. No, yeah.
I mean, you got No Sung-hyun, the guy who plays.
Yeah.
He was in the Love in the Big City movie today or this year, or this past
with
year,
Kim
not this year.
Gun. Yeah, he's making the rounds, and I really like No Sung-hyun.
Yeah, me too.
He plays Pick Isaac, or Isaac, I guess is the equivalent English name, but yeah, he's really heartbreaking. He's just a heartbreaking figure in this show. And I called him Reverend Hottie in the season 1 review.
I mean, you're not lying.
No. It just like all came flooding back when I pressed play on episode 1. I was like, where's Reverend Hottie? All right. The last person I'll point out is Kim Kang-un, who plays Paek Noah as a teenager or as a preteen or something. Yeah. He is Pilgu from When the Camellia Blooms, and I was like, oh my god, it's Pilgu. Tell me why he will never outlive that child role that he did in When the Camellia Blooms.
Yeah.
Whew. When I saw him, I was like, oh my god, I'm getting old. I'm ancient because Pilgu is grown. Oh, it was hard. All right, so I think the only fun fact that I have that's kind of left over from season 1 is, according to the Hollywood Reporter, the show has a budget comparable to The Crown, which reportedly costs a hefty $13 million per episode. I suspect it's that same budget or even more for this season.
Definitely.
Yeah,
definitely.
So it's, prestige television. Apple TV Plus is the platform you can watch it on, and that's the distributor. It's an original Apple TV Plus show. Caitlin, what'd you think? What'd you think of the show?
Oh, I absolutely loved it. five soju bottles. Like I literally had. I mean, I had little qualms with it, mostly because I haven't read the book. So like, I didn't know what to expect. I didn't know what was gonna happen. So I wasn't necessarily like, my qualms weren't necessarily with the acting or the story. It was more of, God, this character made a horrible decision. But
Mm-hmm.
it's what happened apparently in the book. Or, I mean, they did take liberties, but it wasn't necessarily anything to do with the show. You know what I mean? It
Mm-hmm.
was, yeah. So I absolutely loved it. I mean, when season 1 aired, that was my top show of the year as well.
Mm.
So it made perfect sense why Pachinko season 2 was my top show of 2024, along with Shogun, if anybody was wondering what it was tied with.
And it's a
So no,
lie.
Anna
Double
Fly,
hit.
like, literally was my girl in 2024.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I loved it just as much as I did in season 1. I really actually was afraid I wasn't gonna like it as much as season 1 because, you know, you always have those like worries of season 2s might not be like, there's a term for that, you know, where the season 2s don't live up to season 1s, and I can't
Yeah.
remember what it's called, but I was worried about that. And I don't know why I was worried, because I had nothing to worry about.
Yeah, there's a pervasive curse on season 2s, on multi-season, especially Asian dramas, right? Which historically have been limited series, as we call them here in the US. You get a certain number of episodes, it's a full story arc, and then that's it. You're done. You'll see these actors in their next drama, and you don't return to this same story, the same world. Pachinko is the ideal season 2 because it had source material. It was based on the book, and season 1 did not cover the full extent of what happens in the book. So there's going to be more story to cover. It's not like the season was a success, runaway success, and they greenlit a season 2 when there is no source material to back up the plot or the justify another season.
Shogun.
So I was not mad that Pachinko got a season 2 because I was like, okay,
Oh yeah, same.
Lord of the Rings
Yeah.
Two Towers. It's a continuation of the story. Like, we're not
Right.
done. So I
Mhm.
was excited to come back to this. I wanted to watch this earlier in 2024 and didn't get around to it. Then the holidays rolled around. Who's going to watch anything around Christmas and New Year's? And I really, really liked this show. I thought it was another excellent Pachinko season.
Yeah.
And I loved the actors. I didn't realize that I had missed them and missed
Right.
these characters and
Right.
this type of storytelling until I pressed play and I was like, I just like sank into my chair. You know what I'm saying? Like, it was
Mhm.
sort of comforting. This level of prestige television, we do get it quite a bit here in the US, but because we're
Mhm.
often watching K-dramas, J-dramas, Chinese dramas, this type of storytelling really appeals to the Western audience, right? And it's
Right.
sure, it's made by Apple TV Plus. It's got a lot of Western talent behind, or even mixed talent, right? You know, Asian American talent behind the camera.
Uh-huh.
I thought this show was devastating. Like, everything about it
Yeah.
is just going to push you to think. And, you know, we're products of the Western education system. And so the US is like the hero in every story. And of course, every country is going to do the same thing and tell history from their
Absolutely.
perspective. That's granted. I'm not saying the US is unique in any way by doing that.
Right.
But to see World War II from this lens was very impactful. It was very moving.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. And I'll repeat what I said in Liliana's podcast
Mhm.
when I was explaining why I love this show. I do not think any other country could have made this show.
Mm.
It would not have been the same. It would have been maybe just as like, impactful if like Japan had made it or Korea had made it, but it would not have told the same story, especially with the World War II stuff.
Mhm.
Even like living the future parts of this, because you said it was a multi-generation thing. So when you're dealing with the older generations in the 80s, the present day, that type of thing.
Mm-hmm.
That perspective of a foreigner living in another country, I think is uniquely told, but I think it can't be told the same from a American perspective or a Korean perspective or whatever, which I think is why I love this show so much, because you can appreciate the story that is told from the American or the Korean American or the Japanese American perspective and learn so much from that. Especially because it is a multi-generation. So you do have that perspective of Koreans living in Japan,
This
vice
immigrant
versa.
story,
Yeah.
this transplant
Americans
story.
living in Japan, like a Korean American living in Japan. Like that is uniquely an American perspective that I don't think Korea or Japan, if they made this show, would be able to capture, because it's a different way of thinking when you are Asian American moving or living in a foreign country. And I'm specifically talking about like the future generations.
Okay.
Like obviously when it's World War II or whatever, they aren't Korean American. But even that perspective, I don't think that same story would have been told in the same way if it was done by Japanese production company.
Oh, well,
So
there's a whole conversation that we're not having
obviously,
about
yes,
how
obviously.
Japan is not going to acknowledge
Right.
the crimes that were
Yeah.
done. I mean, not that the US is also to blame for a lot of stuff,
Right.
but the Japanese government is really content to just not address the atrocities that were committed during wartime. And that's really tough to reconcile with that in 2025 and be like, all the good things about the culture, but the bad things, they're like, there are no bad things about Japan. I don't even know if I'm making any sense, but like...
You are. I mean, to me, you are.
Okay. All right. So the global gaslighting that I guess Japan really employs today makes me think that a production of this magnitude would not be sincere coming from a Japanese production.
It probably wouldn't be made, honestly. It probably wouldn't be made in Japan at all.
And there's some jabs to America in season 2.
Exactly. Absolutely. Like I think that's what I loved about this show is like they try to be as authentic as possible, showing these generations on what they went through and what they are currently going through, because it's a present day thing too. I think it shows a level of respect of trying to show the common person living in these eras and these generations and what they're dealing with, and really showing that no matter the era, there is some commonalities on what they're dealing with discrimination or gender role or that type of thing. Just centered around this one family growing up, and I loved that about it. And again, I think that was uniquely something America can do, just from the melting pot that America is and the rich Asian American history America has, both for the good and the bad, obviously, because America does have, as you said, we are not angels at all, and I fully agree with that. So I just think this story could not have been told as beautiful and as impactful as it has been from anybody else. I think there's something very special about it and something very impactful that I don't think would have had the same impact anywhere else.
You mentioned generational trauma and this tying generations together, right? Between Sunja leaving her home in Korea to forge a new life in Japan all the way to the present, like everything is interconnected. And I love this running theme throughout the show of that each generation successively has it as technology progresses and economies progress and just the passage of time, each generation doesn't have to go through what the previous generation went through. But despite the older generation seemingly feeling like they have it so easy, and yes, we do have it super easy compared to 20, 40, 60 years ago, each generation has their struggles. And it ties them together and binds them and makes them see each other differently and recontextualize how they feel about what they're going through.
And I think that's a main storyline. And when it comes to some of the future generation stories, is like some people are dealing with the fact that they are a foreigner living in a country and they're trying to be more Japanese or trying to be more like they don't like their home culture. And I mean, I think that again, coming back from America, I am white as can be, so I obviously can't feel like this, but I've heard stories of Asian Americans growing up hating that they're Korean or hating that they're Japanese because of what they deal with on a daily basis at school or work, like discrimination stuff. So it's interesting to see the complexity of that thought from I'm specifically talking about
Solomon?
Yeah, Solomon. I think in season 2 it didn't show as much because he started kind of appreciating his culture. But in season 1, he was really, really troubled with him being a Korean living in Japan and wanting to be Japanese. But feeling guilty about that, knowing or somewhat knowing, he learned more about the history, but somewhat knowing the history between Japan and Korea. I think that was just really impactful on the story, and I'm sure I'm that's what I've heard from other people who have watched the show who are Asian American, of like, that's my story, that's my thing that I've had growing up, that I've had those thoughts, I've had to deal with that.
Yeah, the racial discrimination aspect, which in the United States, if you say racial discrimination, like stop, drop, and roll, we see things in terms of black and white over here in large part. But to see who we perceive to be very similar culture, like from the West, I'm like, oh, Japan and Korea have a lot in common. And yes, that's due to their history and their bad history of colonization and occupation, right? But they're very near to each other. And to me, like, you can boil it down to some commonalities between the cultures, but to see them go deeper and really showcase this racial discrimination in the 80s, just 40 years removed from the war and the preceding war, which was the Korean War, it's pretty harsh. I feel like we're kind of tranquilized over here to this nuanced struggle of racial discrimination and how it appears in Japan. And, you know, sometimes it's overt, sometimes it's really subtle. In this time period, again, which I love that they said it in the 80s, and sure, like, you can do the math and be like, okay, the grandchild of Sunja should be of age around this time in the 80s. Right. But the 80s were such a, like, I think of the 80s and I'm like, what a prosperous time, right?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Yeah. In Japan as well as America, it was economic boom.
Yeah.
In both.
So I like that this Solomon character is difficult, right? Like, he is a yuppie.
Yeah.
He wants to be successful in the corporate world, in real estate, and he's not ethical.
Right. Absolutely.
So he's kind of unlikable.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I mean, especially in season 1. But yes, definitely. He's a weasel.
Yeah, he's a weasel. And then you're like, but I want to like him because he is facing these insurmountable odds of trying to make it as a Korean in a Japanese business world. And then juxtaposing that with what you see with his grandma's story, you're like, the weight of history is weighing him down. It's not on his side. And so you just kind of feel a little helpless. And I would say my one criticism is that I personally, with my pea brain, had trouble figuring out who people were in the 80s. In that timeline, I was a little bit struggling with, who is Yoshi? And like, what does that person do? Were they in season 1? And I didn't remember a lot of detail from season 1. So I was really struggling with the business side of what Solomon was doing. Like, I got the broad strokes, but I was kind of like, but who is this person? Are they Yakuza? I was like kind of lost a lot of the time. Yeah. But overall, personally, the 1940s were captivating.
Oh
Like
yeah,
that part
yeah.
of the
I mean,
story
I was
was so
that.
transporting, and
Hmm.
maybe it's because I like a period piece, and like the 80s is not, to me, the 80s is not as much of a period piece as something set in the 40s
Hmm.
during World War II. But yeah, I gravitated more towards Sunja's story, where she's coming from as a mother and these
Hmm.
struggles, specifically being a mother and being the main breadwinner and doing a lot of traditionally masculine things,
Right,
like putting
right,
food on the table and paying bills and paying off debt
right.
from male characters. And she's got so much on her plate. Solomon comes across as very ungrateful a lot of the time. So these two characters, I gravitated more towards Sunja.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think this was part of the thing when it came to the generational trauma. It was very clear Sunja did not talk about her past at all. And so, of course, he has no idea, for the most part, what she went through. So, of course, he's ungrateful. Of course, he has no idea. And I don't think he cares to know. That's the thing. I don't think he cares to know. And maybe he knew a little bit in terms of like his education or something. But again, he grew up in Japan. How much of an education from a Korean perspective would that be? And we got a thing of that with some of the 1940s education scenes with the kids. Yeah, I mean, I don't think he didn't have the knowledge to have sympathy for her, but I don't think he cared enough to have sympathy for that because he's very selfish. He's a selfish character. He cares about me, myself, and I. And I think that a huge part of this entire story is him connecting more with his Korean culture
Mm-hmm.
and gaining some of that sympathy. But I mean, he still has a long way to go. I mean,
Yeah.
in season one, he made a lot of improvement, but in season two, he still was his selfish person,
Mm-hmm.
and then he learned more.
To that end, I would say I also like this running theme of revenge. And do you forgive someone who wronged you,
Hmm.
even though they don't deserve it? I mean, they haven't asked for forgiveness.
Right.
Or even if they have, why would you grant them that forgiveness so easily without kind of like making them work for it? But that's the whole concept. That's the whole thing of forgiveness. It's not going to make sense.
Hmm.
Juxtaposing that with Solomon, who is actively going for revenge.
Yeah. I mean, he got fired, and now he wants to stick it to the man.
Mm-hmm.
And he goes about it in a very weaselly way until his grandmother steps in and is like, dude, you're Korean. You have to think about this a little. Which, I mean, he still gets his revenge. He's still in a way.
I've always supported revenge stories. I love
Hmm.
them. I think they're incredibly entertaining. But this really convicts you as a person who is supportive of revenge,
Oh yeah.
because what is the benefit to the person exacting the revenge? Like, it's very corrosive to
Yeah.
that person, to their spirit, to their moral code,
To their
and
life.
to
I
their
mean,
life.
he lost everything in the name of revenge, and yeah, you have to think, was it
Is
worth
it
it?
worth it?
Is it
Exactly.
worth it? Exactly.
Is it worth it to do all this for hate?
Hmm.
The older generation, and especially Isak, that character, Reverend Hottie, that lesson that he teaches them early on in the show is consequential, and it was kind of flagrant, like right in your face. Like, it's very remarkable.
Foreshadow.
And it's
Yeah.
foreshadowing, right? Like, what
Mhm.
what choices will future generations make? Did he
Yeah.
sow that seed on fertile ground?
Right.
Are the kids gonna really take that to heart?
Yeah.
So just gifted storytelling throughout.
Absolutely.
I did not read the book even in the 2 years since season 1 came out.
Same.
Sorry. But before we go into the spoiler section, I want to say, like, we are appraising this based on the show, what we saw on screen, and how it made us feel and react. And really, the book has not, at this point, this is a totally different text.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
And I know that the season 1 review that I did on the Daebak feed, all of my guests had read the book and they had different things to say, had different complaints about the show, and that's fine. That's not our perspective.
Absolutely. Yeah.
You know, I think we can evaluate the show based on what we saw on screen, what was delivered to us, and not based on, oh, but the book was this. Oh, but in the book it was like this. Oh, I didn't like because the book was... We're not doing that in this season 2 review. So just want to manage expectations here. If you read the book and you want to hear someone's perspective, there's certainly got to be a podcast out there for you. This season 2 review is not it. So that being said, is there anything else you wanted to say in the non-spoiler section before we give our soju bottle ratings and move to the spoiler section?
No, I'm good, even though I already gave my soju bottle.
Okay, yeah, 5.
at the
Okay.
beginning.
Mine, I'll give 4.5, only because again, I was a little bit lost in the 80s with the business aspect and what was going on and who some of these characters are. I couldn't keep it straight in my head, and it might have something to do with they have different names, like multiple names, I should say, and that was throwing me. And I also thought, even though the cinematography is beautiful, I love it, I thought it was too low light, which is similar to season 1. The aesthetic is just carried through, but
Yeah.
I still thought it was too dark in a lot of places. So light it up a little more. Personally, again, this is all personal, this is all subjective, but those are my couple of nitpicks, and then we can get into the spoiler section right after this.
Excuse me, 뭐라고?
아이, 괜찮아.
You know, I have no 친구. Oh, sorry.
Swear, disgusting shit.
All right, we're on the other side of spoilers, so we're going to spoil what happens in season 2 of Pachinko. I think I want to start just in episode 1 because they hit you upside the head with it's World War II, and the text is shown on screen as being World War II in English. And then underneath, they have the Korean and Japanese translations cycling through. But I thought it was intentional that they kept the English on screen towering over the other languages, the other translations. I don't know, I found it very poetic because of the US planes flying overhead and how the US ended the war with controversial but a strong response, the A-bombs, and it's towering over the Koreans and Japanese. That to me was them saying that, even just in the text, that America is gonna tower over these two nations. And I thought just from the get-go, I was like, well, here we go. Great poetic title cards and stuff. I love how we see more differences between the two brothers.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. So these two, and this is also in the 40s, right? You see them in school and they're getting bullied. And the younger one, Musashu, is audacious and proud to be Korean. And he's explaining to the class why he's eating what he's eating, his stinky food, quote unquote. And Isak is more passive, more non-confrontational, preferring to ignore the haters who accuse him of living with pigs. I'm sorry, Noah. I mean Noah. Isak is not Noah. So it's Noah and Musashu. Already getting it wrong. You see, there's too many names. Noah is talking to the teacher. The teacher says anger comes from feeling so powerless here. And basically the best way to not be bullied is to not be Korean. Even if only in his imagination. And I was like, that's a wild thing to say. He's just you're always going to be bullied.
Right.
You're always going to be lesser because of who you are. Your entire identity is at odds. And the people here feel powerless. So they're going to take it out on someone who's less fortunate than they are.
Yeah. And with the oncoming war, that's just going to get worse.
Yeah.
I loved his relationship with his teacher. I mean, that reveal was very impactful. I don't think it happened in episode 1, but the reveal of the storyline a lot in season 2 for Noah was him kind of in parallel with Solomon from season 1, is dealing with the fact that he's Korean living in Japan. Obviously a different era, whatever, but the relationship he has with his teacher, given the reveal that his teacher is also Korean, but you wouldn't know because his teacher changed his name and basically changed his entire demeanor in a way. I think that reveal was very impactful on Noah, which caused the rest of his storyline in season 2, which broke my heart a lot.
Yeah. The only way you're going to get a leg up is if you pretend to be Japanese.
Yeah.
You deny yourself.
Right. And I think he's, as you said, like he's very different from his brother, where his brother obviously is getting bullied and understands to an extent what that means and why they're getting bullied. But he is still a kid. He's still, I mean, Noah is so much older than him. So I think Noah is dealing it with it longer than him, obviously, in this World War II time period. But B, I think he's just not, he still has that like innocence about him of being a kid and still dealing with it, which Noah obviously doesn't have anymore. They obviously deal with the bullying in a different way.
And you can see how much each generation, and even between the brothers, who do have a large age gap between them, what is that, like 5-6 years or something between them?
Something like that, yeah.
How they successively get more shielded.
Right.
From the real big picture and the negativity surrounding their identity and their race, right? And even just between them, like, right, the younger one is like, I don't give a shit. I am Korean and what of it? Doesn't really grasp how pervasive and embedded this discrimination is, this hatred is.
Or even how if you meet the wrong person, you can get killed for just being Korean. Like, I don't think it has hit him hard enough, or he understands the magnitude of the hate of being Korean in Japan at that time specifically. And he shouldn't have. Like, he's a kid. Like, that's not something a kid should have to understand. And I think also with Noah, to an extent, Noah, because of what was your nickname? Reverend Hottie.
Reverend Hottie.
I think also the fact that Reverend Hottie has been gone for 6 years now, maybe. I think it's like 6 years. He's had to grow up. He's had to raise his family. He's had to become, like, to an extent, the man of his household in a way. And I think that has also caused him to grow up sooner than he should have, and it made him realize society as it is, which I'm sure Sunja did not want him to do. Like, she wanted to shield them from the atrocities of being Korean in Japan because she's dealt with it.
Yeah, you mentioned something about him being the eldest and having all this responsibility. That's also a through line throughout the story, that the eldest has all of these expectations and the responsibility of caring for the family, and he gets preferential treatment for even just them serving. Who gets served first at the dinner table? It's Noah.
Yeah.
And the little boy was actually, like, he definitely picks up on that.
Yeah.
He picks up on the fact that they're not treated the same.
Right.
It is like a little, on a global scale, younger siblings don't have the same experience as elder siblings. And there's always that joke of, like, you know, the little brother, the youngest, they are coddled. That is here too. Like, that's part of the whole dynamic as well, is that he's just younger. He's the baby of the family. He's gonna get more privileges than the elder.
Right. Yeah.
So I love the cultural subtext that they keep calling attention to. It's that the elder culturally is the caretaker of the family. They're the ones that have to keep this thing going. And the younger one does not have that same responsibility of being the man of the house, of taking care of mom in her old age, and so on and so forth. It is a yoke that he has. And he is so responsible and sensitive and feeling. Noah is. It was actually this, you know, free spirit and more aggressive and fun loving. And he's just very simple and innocent. And yes, he's coddled. Yes, he's shielded. And they just keep it going, like, throughout the show and into when he's a teenager. Like, he still doesn't have the same demands as Noah.
Well, and I think that responsibility might have been on Noah again. Things happen where it's like if World War II never happened, maybe it would have been different. If their father figure hadn't been sent to prison, maybe it would have been different. Like there's so many circumstances that happened between season 1 and season 2 that could have changed the trajectory of his life, which makes it like even more sad in terms of his life, but also like Sunja's family in general. If you think about it, if one thing hadn't happened, this thing wouldn't have happened, you know, and it would have, it, for the better or worse, you don't know, like if something worse would have come along if World War II didn't happen or something and affected her family, you know? And I think that that makes it even more sad is like the combination of things that have happened in this family's life through the generations, while impactful. I mean, this family's story is overall a sad story. Like, especially the historical parts of it. It was not a fun time for them living in Japan. Between World War II, the aftermath of World War II, her life in season 1, and becoming pregnant without getting married, like the impact of that on her life.
Yeah, the scandal.
Sunja's life has been extremely hard, and that is a thorough line throughout the generations.
Yeah, is that that's something she kind of, without knowing it, without wanting to, she passes that on.
Right, exactly.
So let's talk about Lee Min-ho, because we get a lot more of him in season 2 than we did in season 1, I feel.
Yeah.
He's basically like an arms dealer. His father-in-law is the head of the Yakuza. I don't even know. Like, it's really not spelled out in the show exactly who the father-in-law is, but to me,
he's
I'm like,
definitely Yakuza. He's
Yakuza,
definitely Yakuza,
right?
I don't think he runs the entire Yakuza,
Right,
but
right.
like he's definitely a prominent figure in Yakuza.
Okay,
yes.
that's what I thought. That's what I gathered, because Lee Min-ho is over here. He's like an arms dealer or something. He's supplying minerals and metals to the Japanese government so that they can make arms for the war effort. And he's got a reputation for being vicious. And look, I don't understand why people were shipping Lee Min-ho with Sunja.
I don't either. Not at all. I mean, I get like their chemistry. Yeah, they have chemistry.
Sure.
But like
sure.
On the plain simple thing, she said in season 2 multiple times, we can't be together. I don't want to be with you. In so many words, so many times.
And this isn't one of those where it's like, oh, but she really does want to be with him and they can make it happen and there's a future for them. No. Like, that is not the read that I think you should have on this. And maybe it's because a lot of K-drama girlies were watching season 2.
Yeah, I think so.
Whether you had read the book or not. But I don't know if there's a blinders here because it's Imino, but like
probably
watched this show, binged it, and could not fathom shipping Imino with Sunja.
Right. He's a toxic
Hansu.
character.
His character's name is Hansu.
Yeah,
Sorry.
yeah.
So Hansu.
Yeah. He's toxic. He's
toxic.
Like it's the type of character that you love to hate. It's a guilty pleasure character.
Sure. Guilty pleasure character. And I think a lot of people might have been hoodwinked by the fact that he keeps helping Sunja.
Yeah.
But again, you gotta dig a little deeper than just like, oh, he's helping, he's a good person. No.
Yeah.
That is not, he groomed her in season 1. She was a teenager.
Right.
He was a fully grown man who groomed a teenager, got her pregnant, and then left her because she would not be his mistress.
Yeah, he has kids and a wife back in Japan.
That's a villain.
Yeah. And his wife is the daughter of a major Yakuza member. Like, he can't leave this family.
No.
At all. Like, there's no way this is ever going to work. The other thing I found really interesting, which I loved about season 2 too, is not only are you getting discrimination with Sunja's family, but you also are kind of getting an insight of discrimination of him marrying into this prominent Japanese family, which we've never, you can correct me if I'm wrong. I don't think we've ever seen his wife or kids in either season, correct?
No, I don't think so.
Okay, I don't, I was trying to think back on, I don't think which is funny, hysterical, because you'd think he'd help his wife and kids to get out of that area in World War II. But nope, he goes running the Sunja.
I mean,
but it's like, yeah, so I found it really interesting that we even saw like the discrimination aspect within his own storyline, which
yeah.
I don't know if it's in the book. I mean, I've heard they've really, really added stuff to his character between season 1 and season 2. I do not know if that part is in the book or not, but I found that even
I quite like
it's
that.
like one of those, yeah, it's like one of, like, he definitely married into his family to survive. Like that was from season 1. He did it to gain power, did it to survive. And it's like, no matter what you do, no matter how high you rise, you are still dealing, like, you could have the strongest Yakuza behind you, and because you married in their family, you're still Korean. You're still dealing with the discrimination these people have against you.
Mm-hmm. I like that. I like that he is kept underfoot. Right? The whole time he's in that family, he's kind of a second-class citizen, and he owns the house. You know what I'm saying? Like, he runs the town.
Yeah.
It's wild.
Yeah.
I love that aspect where he is constantly vying for power, vying to be recognized. And at this point, it's not necessarily about survival. It's about ego.
Yeah.
Because he knows he's going to eat.
Yeah.
Right? He knows where his next meal is coming from. But despite being in bed with the Yakuza, literally, he's like, I need to assert myself. It's about these infractions on his ego. And it's pretty fragile. Like, I think that
definitely.
He's also a villain because he's a narcissist.
Yeah. The other thing I think that was like, there's two things also going off of your point too, is like, how could people ship them? One, and a big prominent one, which I think people are kind of forgetting. A prominent comment I saw throughout the show as it aired is people wanted them to like get their happy ending. and I'm like, guys, look at the present day. Is she with him? Is she like married? Is she together with anybody?
Mm-hmm.
Clearly, either he's dead or they just didn't get together and he's nowhere to be found. I mean, maybe he comes back later. I don't know. I again, we didn't read the book, but it's like, even just from like the present day, you can tell they don't have a happy ending. Like her entire life is not a happy ending.
I love when they do that in shows.
Yeah, you can see in the future generation, she's content, but she has a lot of baggage. She has a lot of history there that she is dealing with and trauma that she's dealing with across the board. And clearly she's not with Hansu. So obviously that was not a thing. Two, though, in season 2, going back to like the Yakuza thing, in season 1, he was a problematic guy, like really problematic. I feel like, as you said, in season 2, he becomes a villain. He goes deeper into the crime syndicate. He kills his father-in-law at one point. Because
he had it coming, though.
He had it coming, obviously, but he used the shadow of war to hide, to get his revenge.
To stage a coup.
Like that. To stage a coup. He
and
used
get revenge. That. Exactly.
He's an opportunistic narcissist.
Yes.
And he has accepted his role in this crime syndicate the further the season goes along.
Yes.
Sunja is never going to let her children near that guy. Like, ever. Or herself. If she has to stay single for the rest of her life, that is going to happen. This dude is descending into the crime syndicate that he has created and was married into. And he has accepted that role by the end of
the
season.
It is unfathomable for me to watch season 2 and come out being like, they could have made it. I couldn't wrap my head around it, especially because of the conversation that he has with the older brother who comes back from Nagasaki, Yoseb.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
So that guy,
Mhm.
which we got to talk about that whole
We do,
episode.
yes.
But
Definitely.
that guy, Lee Min-ho sits down with him. I'm sorry, Hansu. I keep saying Lee Min-ho, but I mean, I'm sure people that are listening will just understand the actor's real names, especially his name. But Hansu is there when this guy wakes up, when Yosef wakes up.
Mhm.
And he has this really crazy conversation with him, which is really
Absolutely.
one-sided. Because
Yes.
it's a lot of like posturing and power play between these two men. And
Yes.
who is lording over this family, who is the head of the family, and who has the right of way here to make decisions about the family, and how dare you be here and insert yourself into this family when you've caused so much hurt and pain. You're the one who impregnated Sunja. You're the dad who's barely paying child support. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Yeah.
He's paying it in a lump sum just by saving their lives in World War II.
Right. Right.
Lee Min-ho says, I was the one who saved you. I saved so many of your family and not from any goodwill. Sunja and Noah compelled me because they are mine.
And I like that quote because I think in his mind, he doesn't care about them. He has no feelings about them. They are property.
Yes.
And they're an extension of his bloodline.
Yes.
Like, that's what they are.
Yes. I cannot scream yes enough because you nailed it. And if people were watching up to this point and shipping those two characters, Sunja and Hansu, they should have gotten to episode 5 when this happens between Hansu and Yosef and been like, never mind.
Yeah.
Never mind.
Yeah.
Because again, and this was all, you could read this on Lee Min-ho's performance and in all of the behind the scenes, so to speak, of him with his father-in-law at home, how he treats even the servants in the house.
Right.
You're like, he is an asshole.
Yeah.
Yes, he's got a sob story. Everybody's got a sob story.
Right.
Yes, he's a victim of the times. Everybody's a victim of the times.
Yeah.
But how does he handle it? He's not righteous.
He has a motive.
Self-serving.
He's selfish.
He's selfish. It goes beyond survival. He's not doing anything out of the goodness of his heart.
Correct.
So crazy, crazy mentality on Lee Min-ho and on people who are shipping Lee Min-ho's character with Sunja.
Yeah. Now, I will say I'm a huge Lee Min-ho fan, as we know.
Yes.
He was my first. I watched Boys Over Flowers. That was how I got into it. I've seen most of his dramas. I still love, even though his character is horrible, I love the fact that he took this role. Because one, this is the role, didn't he, if I remember correctly, is like his first role he had to audition for in like
in a very
10
long
years
time.
or something. Like really, really long time.
Yeah. I can't remember if the story is no, I think he did. They made him audition. And he could have chosen, okay, never mind, I'm not going to audition. Don't want it that bad.
Right.
Not hurting for cash right now.
Yeah.
Because I can't imagine how many scripts come across his desk.
Oh, yeah. Definitely. Definitely.
But he's at the stage in his career and in his fame where he can do anything.
Right. Exactly.
He can do anything he wants. But he chose to do Pachinko and this egotistical, narcissistic,
horrible man.
Horrible.
And I think that
dude.
was the plan. I think he read the script and is like, this is a character that I've never done because I'm always portrayed as the prince.
Yeah. Or
for
as
lack of
a
better
clownish, rich man. And sure, this Hansu is rich, but there's so much depth there and so much to latch onto. He's bamboozling people, evidently, just by his mere casting. That, he can't be that bad. It's Lee Min-ho. It's played by Lee Min-ho.
Mm-hmm. Right.
It's stunt casting.
Yeah. So I love that he took his role because it's definitely a role that I think expanded his acting chops and also was fun for him to do because he's never done this type of role before, like villain role before. Also, he looks really good in 1940s.
In them white
costumes.
suits.
You have to admit that.
The white
But yeah,
linen
I
suits.
really like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
But talking about World War II, though, the cinematography when it
Stop.
came to like the bombing and the attack part
Mhm.
of the 1940s was amazing. It
Yeah.
was heartbreaking, but it was amazing. It
Mhm.
was I remember watching the trailer. Also, side note, trailer. Rosé's
Cover of
cover
Coldplay.
of Coldplay.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Like when the trailer first aired and I was like, okay, I recognize this song. Who is singing this song? What is this song? I literally found like someone had put the song on YouTube
Uh-huh.
against pictures of Rose. It was like nothing special. I probably listened to that video
Yeah.
over and over because I became obsessed with that song.
It's a good one.
It's really good. I really wish she would release it, like actually release it, or Pachinko would put. I don't think Pachinko season 2 either has released an OST album yet, or
Oh,
I don't think it
strange.
was, or it wasn't on their OST album. I can't remember. But anyway, when they first showed the scenes of war, like the little snippets they had in the trailer of the World War II scenes, because the whole trailer was like really calm and really like going along with this song.
Yeah.
And then as it rised in the intensity, it would kind of do flashes of the World War IIs and the danger that was going to go. And you could tell it was going to be a completely different story than what it was in season 1.
Uh-huh.
I was like, oh shit. Like we are in for a wild ride in season 2. And I was excited for the World War II parts just because I was intrigued by what kind of perspective we were going to get.
And that's the thing. I want to latch on to what you said about perspective because I have lost track of how many World War II movies the US has put out. Okay, It is done. It is beat to death. I just feel like the US is obsessed. Maybe Hollywood is obsessed with World War II. I totally understand that it was a global tragedy. So many countries were involved. The US, Pearl Harbor. I get it. There's a lot of fodder there for storytelling. I have McFucking had it with World War II movies.
Yeah.
So for this World War II portrayal to be so special and keep me engaged and show something that I hadn't seen before, I love to see it. Great job.
Right. Yeah. And the fact it was on a TV show and not a movie was impressive within itself.
Yep. So let's jump to 19. This is still episode 1. We've been jumping a little bit around the episodes. But in episode 1, we have this scene in 1989 of racial discrimination at the bakery. And I just thought, oh man,
broke my heart.
Broke my heart. But if only this was 2024, it would have gone viral with a video. But this is beyond the pale. Like they assumed she was Korean based on how she spoke Japanese over the phone.
Right.
Fucked up with her cake that she ordered and was going to pay full price for.
Right.
And they said, oh, well.
Exactly.
Oh, well, you're Korean, learn Japanese. I couldn't understand you over the phone. And it rocked me. And of course, Solomon goes apeshit. There's a crash out in the bakery. He ends up saying to Sunja, his grandmother, I can't live always feeling sorry for you.
Yeah, which I was just like, you bastard. That was just like, seriously? You are getting mad at the wrong person here.
2 things. Solomon is also an asshole.
Yes.
But he's also touching on something about how the current generation can't always live in self-pity and wallow in trauma that didn't happen to them.
Right. True.
So I understand where he was coming from, where he's like, we can't just live in the past, and I can't always live my life as if I'm struggling.
Right.
Because I'm not.
I mean, I think he also was telling her, you should have stuck up for yourself.
Exactly. Because I can't always stick up for you.
Right.
You need to set boundaries. It's been 40 years. Like, get some gumption, handle this business. of being racially discriminated in public.
Right.
Because this is ridiculous. So I understand, like, on multiple, it's a lot of facets to this attitude that he's showing to his grandmother, which is very disrespectful, super disrespectful. Would I ever say that to my grandma? No. But, you know, the sentiment is understandable.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But yeah, don't say that to your grandparents. And, also in episode 1, Imino gets Sunja out of prison because she got arrested in a raid on the black market. They were going to start selling rice wine, which is illegal. I guess there's a bit of a prohibition thing happening here. I don't know the details, but he gets her out. He's known her whereabouts, had his man Taylor for years, knew she was selling rice wine, knows his son Noah's not applying himself at school, that Noah's teacher is secretly Korean and pretending otherwise. Full on stalker.
Yeah. Yeah.
Episode 2, Imino finally gets Isak out of jail.
Oh my God. I bawled my eyes out.
This was my first cry. My first cry of Pachinko was episode 2.
Like ever? Like even season 1?
Oh no, I think I cried in season 1. I can't remember where I cried.
I was about to say, oh my God, I sobbed in season 1. So, but I'm an easy
like
crier, but
I didn't cry in episode 1, but episode 2 of season 2, I cried. But like everything with Isak.
Oh, I was sobbing. I like couldn't catch my breath. I was crying so hard.
Mm-hmm. I have the line from Isak here that says, "You see, a person who is truly rich is not somebody with money, but someone who is loved." Because Musashu, wow, did I say that right? Mosasu. Ooh, I'm struggling today. Anyway, the younger sibling, the younger kid, is saying, "Oh, you grew up in a big house with lots of rooms," lamenting the fact that they're poor. And Isak is like, "I grew up in a house with lots of rooms, and it was a big house, but I don't miss the house. He misses the people inside it."
Mm-hmm.
Important lesson to teach a child. And the other lesson that he teaches is for Noah, because that motherfucking pastor turned Isak in to the authorities. Look, I would have gotten out Count of Monte Cristo style. Like, I would have
of course
rocked that pastor. Pastor who? Oh my God, he should have been counting his days. But the face-off in that cramped room and how they filmed it by lantern. Isak is like, "Noah, you stay. I want you to see that this whole encounter." And the pastor saying, "No, I didn't dislike you. I despised you." It was so shocking. It was terrible to witness this pure jealousy rolling off of this pastor. Like, he's just been masquerading this whole time as if he's a good person and saying, "Oh, love came easily to you, Isak, and I was abandoned by my parents, and Pastor Yu took me in, but I sensed that he loved you more." Like, it was crazy work.
Yeah.
Crazy inferiority complex.
Yeah. And then I also just felt like so bad for Noah too, because in the 6 years that Isak was in prison, Noah really leaned on this guy. He really wanted this dude to become like a father figure to him.
Such a betrayal.
And
such a betrayal of trust.
Oh, it was so bad.
Yeah, because they cut to Noah looking incredulous, looking at him with disdain. After, and this is especially after Pastor Hu says that he prayed for him and was hoping for his release, yada, yada, yada. And the pastor looks over at Noah, and Noah is like, "You son of a bitch."
Yeah. It was, I did not see it coming either. I just thought they would never reveal why Isak was in prison. Like, I didn't really expect to find out.
And all of this is juxtaposed against 1989. So you have this really unsatisfying forgiveness in the 40s. And this unbelievable grace that Isak extends to the pastor who doesn't deserve it.
Right. Yeah.
You have this juxtaposed against 1989 where Solomon is in full rage, wanting to get back at the man who did him wrong. I'm like, this is powerful. This is great storytelling. This is A++. No notes. Yeah, because he's talking with the old lady who refused to sell her property from season 1. So he goes to visit her. He's talking about, who am I to talk about it? I guess meaning all of this stuff that's unsaid about the war years and about my struggles. He says, who am I to talk about it? I have no idea what suffering is. And he goes on to have this pretty insightful pity party about how he's perceived by this lady and his own grandmother, Sunja, because he's never been hungry. He can't even imagine being hungry. He's not had to struggle. His life is incredibly easy. And he says to the old lady, you must despise me and think your suffering was all for this guy to have this cushy life and still not be satisfied. And she rocks him back with, she's lived a good life, a life well lived, and she doesn't regret any of it. Like, in so much as you think she's wallowing and can't get through the trauma of the past, she doesn't regret anything.
Right. I think that's the same sentiment Sunja has, which her grandson doesn't think that.
Yeah. So this difference in the generations, I love juxtaposing them against each other, and the forgiveness versus the revenge in the present day. I'm like, oh,
right.
Good shit.
Right. Yeah. I sobbed in that goodbye scene.
I sobbed in the
season
goodbye
2.
scene
It
too.
was so sad. I like knew it was coming too. It's like one of those things where you're like,
he ain't gonna make it.
This dude is gone. He's a goner. Like, I mean, you all know Hansu got him out of prison because he knew he was gonna die. Like,
oh yeah, Hansu only plucked him out of prison because she wouldn't leave the city. She wouldn't leave Osaka without him.
Yep.
And so Hansu was like, damn, I gotta get this fool out. And yeah, even Hansu, I don't think would have restored him whole.
Oh, absolutely not. No.
Because he's so vile.
Yeah. Yeah. And then, of course, the second that he's cremated, the sirens start and they have to get out.
I don't
and
think the flames even reached his flesh.
I don't think so either. And she refuses to leave until she has those ashes. It's like, she still refused to leave. Like, even when he brought him back and she was able to say goodbye, we're still like dragging her out of there.
Yeah. But it goes to show how much she respected, loved, and honored him. And I loved that. So I feel like we could do like 30 minutes more on this, but here's the last thing that I have in my notes for it is Isak says to both of his sons, which he accepted Noah as his own son, like genuinely thought of him as his own son. And both of them, he tells them, my son's a broken body with broken bones. That is all I have to give to you. But even so, remember this, that pastor's fate and ours is tightly wound together. Noah, know that mercy isn't a power, nor is it a reward. True mercy is acknowledging that there's a price, a cost that it's attached to survival. But just remember this, no matter where you are, no matter what, you are my sons and I am your father. Tears already.
I was crying.
Tears already. Then Sunja says goodbye to Isak laying on the ground. Oh, God. Her last words, I was literally like, like that kind of crying. Because she goes.
I could literally start crying. I'm like thinking about it.
Oh, my God. She goes, to be loved and to be honored by my husband, it has been everything to me. I was full on crying. He tells her to find someone else because you have all this love to give. And she was like, why would I do that? And honestly, like my own grandmother and grandfather on my dad's side, they were married for like 50 years. And this reeks of old school love, if that makes any sense. Like my grandmother did not obviously remarry after 50 years, but I couldn't even fathom it either.
Right.
Because they were so connected at like a soul level. So these two, I mean, despite the circumstances of her, her having a child out of wedlock and stuff, he loved her. Like
Right. Yeah.
He loved her. She grew to love him. And it was a solid marriage.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think also in this scene, what really broke me was his begging to live
Oh my
at
God,
the end.
stop.
I was just like, oh my God. It was like being stabbed in the heart with like every line of this scene.
Because
It was,
he was like, but I want to live.
yeah, it was, oh,
And there was no way. What did he have? Like sepsis, I think?
yeah. Like he was starved and beaten and sepsis and like all this
All
stuff.
kind of
Like,
stuff. Yeah. Like
yeah.
he just,
I'm honestly surprised, and maybe they did this in season 1 and I just don't remember. I'm honestly surprised we did not get a scene of what he dealt with in prison. Because we never saw that. We kind of saw that with her a little bit when she went to jail in episode 1, but I'm really surprised they didn't show that. Maybe they just thought like we have enough atrocities to show you. I don't know.
So they get taken to the countryside. They're living in a farmhouse, which honestly, by today's standards, that's great. People love to live in farmhouses.
Oh yeah. Yes.
Yeah. Redone farmhouses, that's trending. So Sunja is very distrustful of Hansu, and Hansu keeps enticing the boys. Like he's obviously trying to ingratiate himself, give them fine things, and teach them how to fly a kite and all this bullshit. She's not having any of it. She's like, what do you want? Why are you here? Stop doing this. And again, she's not wrong. She's not wrong. This is all part of his agenda. And again, not done out of goodwill.
No,
Not done
not at
out
all.
of goodwill. But there's also her in the present day in 1989 having this flirtation with this ragtime barbershop looking Japanese grandpa. Feeding birds in the park, saying
Yeah.
her grandson was right to berate the bakery dude for all that racial discrimination, the bullshit he was talking. He was like, no, your grandson was brave to have said all that, and I agree with him, and yada, yada, yada. Man, come to find out that old man was like a war criminal.
I know.
He had this sordid past, and I was like, ooh.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Ugh, I felt so bad for her because it was like they're cute together. Kind of got her to open up a little bit and enjoy life a little bit and not be burdened by the trauma that she's dealt with. And then you throw that into the mix. And
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm really curious if that's in the book. I don't know if it is. But yeah, I was like, ooh, damn. Damn.
And the overarching message of that kind of slapping her in the face is that you really can't forget the past.
Right.
These are deep wounds. There's no way they could have rebounded after she got that news. And I'm on the fence about whether her son, Mozasu, was in the wrong for doing the investigation on him, hiring that PI to get all the dirt on the old man. I'm like, I'm on the fence about it. I'm on the fence
Me
about
too.
it because they seem to be very wealthy.
Right.
So this old man, sure, I think he did have ulterior motives in approaching her. Sure, it could have been pure, but I don't think there's necessarily. He could have really targeted her because she's rich.
Yeah. I don't think her youngest son did it out of any type of I don't want her to stay single. I don't want her to like.
No, I never
don't
got
think
that
he
vibe either.
I think he generally liked the guy and wanted her to be happy. But I think you're right. I think he was trying to protect her and make sure.
You can see how vulnerable she is.
Yeah. Like
She gave
kinda
him
still-
money. When she gave him the money, I was like, oh, God,
Yeah.
no.
I think she still has this somewhat of an innocence about her, and like she's a little naive,
Yes.
just like she was in season 1. I think that has just never left her in a way.
Yeah.
In other aspects, she definitely has learned a lot, but I think a common thing with romance in general, she's still naive about it and still
Talk about
very innocent within it, even though she's had Isak and somewhat Lee Min-ho's character. I think she's never had a regular relationship.
Yeah.
To
That's
this
not
point,
under
to this
duress.
point. Yeah, I mean, granted, she could have one, and we're not done with the story, but she's never had a normal relationship.
Great point. So the barbershop murderer I say barbershop because that's just how he's kind of dressed most of the time.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like seems like he's part of a barbershop quartet. But
Yeah.
anyway, that was crazy when they revealed that. I was like, oh no.
Yeah, because they were cute together. They were adorable together. But it was like,
I drew the line
man.
when he kept talking about, I don't got money. When she saw that he couldn't pay for the Mexican food, which great date idea. Have Mexican food and a couple of margs. Absolutely, sign me up. But damn, so sad, disappointing. There was an attraction in the 1940s between the auntie and the bodyguard.
Oh yeah,
girl, I was lapping that up. I was laughing it up.
Same.
Because if I recall correctly, her husband was very machismo.
Oh yeah, definitely.
And he got mad at them for paying off his debt in season 1.
Yeah,
he was bitching and moaning and sliding down the walls because the ladies handled his biz. And I was like, oh, he ain't even a good man.
Yeah. I mean, they kind of had that interaction a little bit in season 1, but it got full blown attraction in season 2. Like they had chemistry, and yeah, you also hated her husband in this season, so that didn't really help either. Like at least
it's more
one
taken to 11.
Yeah. At least in season 1, it's like, okay, he has some machismo. He's definitely like of the times, like gender role type wise. Oh God, I hated his character in season 2. I absolutely did. Granted, to some extent, I understand why. But on another extent, I'm like, dude, you could be get a therapist. Therapy.
Talk about it.
We haven't talked about that part yet.
Noah, so we're getting to it. But Noah has this moment where he lets the school bully go because he was stealing eggs. And you can see that the fruit of Isaac forgiving the pastor has taken root inside Noah. And he immediately forgives this kid. The balance was switched in that moment. He had every right to punish him for not just bullying him in school, but also for stealing from the family in these dire times where every little chicken egg is important. It needs to be consumed by this family. They own these chickens.
Right.
And oh man. And then the bodyguard says, you want your enemies to owe you, not the other way around. Words to live by. So episode 4, Lee Min-ho brings Sunja's mom back from Korea. Again, it's like red herring good things that he's doing.
The other thing is immediately when she stepped out of the car, I was like, well, how long was that the plan? Like, how long did that take? Because obviously 1940 something. I'm like, you put her in a trunk on one of your smuggling ships. There's like no way. There's no way you got a passenger ticket in World War II.
Yeah, well, she was saying she was talking about the passage over and how the boat was really small and they were crammed in there and stuff. Like, who the fuck knows how he brought her over and the conditions. But the fact that he even found her.
Well, yeah, found her, but also it was like, how long was that the plan? Like, how long was he planning on bringing her over? Like, because he obviously couldn't do it. There's no way he was like, oh my God, World War II broke out. Let's bring her mother over. There's no way he could.
I know that the Americans just bombed Osaka, but let's get this old bag over here. Like, when I see what you're saying. Like, when did he say, start the search?
Yeah.
Or maybe he never lost her.
Maybe. Yeah, maybe
he's got his little grubby fingers all over Korea and Japan.
He was like, oh, Sunja's mad at me. Let me go get her mother and then she'll forgive me.
Yeah.
Like, maybe that was the plan. I don't know.
Yeah. They have a moment in 1989 where Sunja is with Anna Sawai's character and they're making food. Anna Sawai says that she used to help her mom cook dinner for her family, but it was kind of all for naught because the dad was rarely home. He never came home much. And Sunja says the food you make for others and the food you make for your family, you can taste the difference. Kind of an extension of what we saw in season 1 with food being such a touch point for people, especially Sunja and her journey, because she is a cook. She's using her cooking skills to put food on the table, so to speak, right? She's selling goods, and the goods is this home-cooked food.
Right.
And so she intimately knows that cooking for your family is different than cooking for other people.
Mm-hmm.
And she is basically saying, I know how much love you put in that food.
Yeah.
I know how
Yeah.
much it meant to you to cook with your mom and put this feast together for your dad who never came home. It's like acknowledging all of this sincerity that was literally left on the table.
Right.
And I love that. I just loved it.
Mm-hmm.
I thought it was great. And then we get in the past Sunja getting a driving lesson from Lee Min-ho on this stick shift vehicle from the 40s, and it culminated in she ends up making out with Lee Min-ho, and I'm like,
Yeah.
girl.
Mm-hmm. It was a moment of weakness.
Yeah, it was a moment of weakness, and he scares her off.
Yep.
Because, again, he asserts, oh, you're mine and all this stuff. She's like, we ain't doing that. And, like, literally hoofs it back to the farmhouse.
Right.
And when she comes home, the mom correctly guesses Lee Min-ho's the father. Lee Min-ho is Noah's dad. And they both go, like, Noah can never find out.
Yeah.
Foreshadowing. Because, of course, Noah's going to find out that Lee Min-ho is his dad. And I did read into the bath that she takes because she's covered in mud after she comes back from they got the car stuck in the mud and they had to push it, and then they start making out and she's covered, she's dirty. And the mom goes, we have to like wash you down, we have to wash up because you can't go inside looking like that, you're got mud all over you. And when she takes this bath, it is like a baptism to me. That's how I read it.
Yeah, it's like a turning point.
Yeah, she's not gonna get weak in front of Lee Min-ho, and she's not gonna take his lies anymore.
Yeah.
I really like that.
Yeah.
And Noah, of course, witnesses Lee Min-ho lose his shit on the foreman.
I was about to say that.
Yeah.
I think at that extent of the story, Noah was kind of getting suspicious of him a little bit, and I think this just cemented that for him. Because on one hand, his younger brother is like, oh my God, he's so much fun. He plays catch with us, blah, 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 being a kid. And then Noah, being the person that he is extremely protective of his mother, is like, okay, this dude who's obviously rich and has everything in the world.
What's in it for him?
Why is he hanging around my mom? Why is he doing this? And I think this both scared him because obviously this dude's around his mom and him
around
and his
the family. Yeah.
It also showed him he obviously doesn't know that Lee Min-ho's character is part of the Yakuza, but this showed him that this dude is involved in some weird, crazy, shady shit. And I think it changed his perspective of it, even though I think he was very suspicious of him before that happened. But
yeah, I agree.
And obviously Lee Min-ho's character did not want him to see it, and then knows that he saw it. So,
oh man, he saw me at my day job. Dang.
Exactly.
Episode 5. We have to talk about episode 5.
Hold on. Let's go back to episode 4 really quick because we also got another kiss scene in this show.
Girl. Because the auntie has first of all, she has a breakdown. Full-on breakdown, like a panic attack, because they saw all of those planes flying overhead, I think. And she was like, oh my God. This is a lot to take, right? Yeah. Especially for she doesn't know if her husband is alive and well, if they're going to bomb Nagasaki and all these things, which history is really sad because we know.
Yeah. Like the minute I heard that he was working in a factory in Nagasaki, I'm like, oh no. Oh, Jesus. And the minute I heard that, I was like, oh man, this is going to be bad. And again, it's weird because it's like, not weird, but it's kind of, I don't know the term. Both of these women had a moment of weakness in this show.
Yeah.
And kissed the people they should not have kissed.
Yeah.
For various different reasons, like different reasons on why they should not have kissed him or like the circumstances of the kiss.
Parallels.
I think it's more, the comments about this episode were tearing Sunja's character apart. Just tearing her apart all around on social media, which I hated.
She don't need that. She doesn't need that from you.
Yeah. And I didn't see much about the second, but I mean, it is Lee Min-ho, so people are just going to be talking about his storyline for the most part anyway. But if you had to compare the moment of weakness, I think, in my opinion, even though I don't think Sunja did anything wrong, I think she was just lonely, and he took advantage of that situation like he did in season 1. I mean, that it was all his manipulation in her having this moment of weakness. So I don't see she did anything wrong.
Yeah.
I think the side character with the bodyguard and the aunt, it was more justifiable because she was freaking out. Like she was
pretty low as well.
Yeah, she was like basically grieving her husband, thinking, oh God, it's probably the worst thing ever.
Yeah. I agree completely.
And then to an extent,
you could say both guys took advantage of the
exactly.
ladies.
And to an extent, Sunja was grieving too. Like she literally just burned Insak and then left.
Yes.
Like,
there was no closure really there.
Yeah, no closure. No closure.
You could see she was wanting that. She was wanting that experience, that whole funeral experience to
exactly
play itself out how it should have. And it was interrupted. And then they had to flee the city because it was about to be bombed. She's got a lot of unresolved grief there.
Yeah.
You know? So, and then the other girl, the auntie, poor lady. Like, I'm just like, this poor lady, she can't catch a break. And yeah, despite me actually wanting her to get with the bodyguard.
Yeah.
The bodyguard took advantage of that moment.
Exactly. Yeah.
And maybe you could say he was trying to comfort her, but she's been trying to rebuff you for a year or so. Like
at least that.
Yeah. He was definitely taking advantage of the situation, whether you saw it that way or not. They both got kissed in episode 4.
Right.
You're right.
Right.
I love that. Great spot. Episode 5. We got to talk about episode 5.
Mm-hmm.
Episode 5 is Nagasaki 1945. The brother is working on grenades. So this is, man, the names are escaping me. Yosef.
This is Yosef, yeah.
Yosef is working on grenades, I think, in this factory.
The first like 15 minutes of this episode, I was just like, oh my God.
Yes. Black and white, different aspect ratio.
Yeah.
They're doing the most. They're leading it up to the bombing. Each day you get a little bit more of his experience in the factory and how he is not hanging out with the other Koreans in the factory, kind of keeping to himself until this kid really opens up to him and tells his story of how he survived a cholera outbreak that killed 88 of 89 people in his town. He is the one survivor. And the kid saying, maybe I was kept alive for this moment that I can kill this high-ranking official in the Japanese army or something like that, like this general. I don't even know who was coming to visit Nagasaki, but he was like, maybe I can do something here, make a difference in some way.
Yeah.
Oh my God. It's all just, it happened so fast. The August 9th coming along and the bombing, it was impressive to see how they handled it.
Right. Yeah.
And how the guy Yosef jumps in and saves the official who came for the visit.
Right. Mm-hmm.
But he really did it to save the kid because he didn't want the kid to get offed for this murder attempt.
And then just when you thought they were safe.
No, there was at no point that I was like, just when I thought they were safe. But he gets put in the back of a vehicle and then boom, the A-bomb goes off.
Mm-hmm.
The moment he regains consciousness, and you see his burnt up, mangled face, wow.
Mm-hmm.
Wow, I have crazy eyes right now because that scene it rocks you.
Yeah, it's like you literally thought he was dead. Like you were like, there's no way that guy's alive. And then he's alive.
And you're just like, no, is that worse? I don't know.
I know, exactly. It's like he's covered in burns and sores and bandages and like he's not recognizable whatsoever. Obviously super painful.
Oh yeah.
It's just
Well,
like,
I also heard that if this is coming from my sister who works close to the burn unit in her hospital, that some burn victims, when the burn goes past a certain degree, they don't feel pain because the nerve endings have been burnt off.
mm,
Which maybe that's a small mercy. In his case, I don't know if that's the case for him, but I just kept that in the back of my mind.
right.
The flies that were buzzing around him and
Oh,
crawling on him, I was just trying to self-soothe like
right.
during this whole
Yeah,
thing.
right.
And this is a conversation that we said earlier that he has with Imino, because he tries to assert like dominance over
Mhm.
Imino in this moment. And it could be seen as righteous anger because he's totally right to be angry at Imino.
Right. Right.
However, Imino puts him in his place. He's like, you can be the head of the family. I'm not going to fight you for that. That's fine. You can keep that title. However, I need you to know who's wearing the pants here, who's paying the bills here, saved your family, who saved your ass.
Right.
So shut your face. That's everything that I got from this conversation. And then we get another 5-year time jump.
Well, really quickly before we get the 5-year time jump, the other thing that was like kind of in the first 10 or 15 minutes of this episode, is you also are seeing the date. Like, it's not just like, okay, here's one day, here's another day. It's literally counting down by
Yeah.
showing you the date every time. So if you're minimally know the date that the bomb went off, you're like, okay, like, really okay. So it's like one of those things where like in Voice, in the K-drama Voice, they have it's a whole thing where it's like you can only save this person in a certain amount of time because there's like statistics and everything. I can't remember what they call it, but like they have a clock the
Uh-huh.
entire time
Yeah.
in the episode, and you're like, okay, they have to save this people in this amount of time. It was like that. It's like you knew what was coming on this certain date, and they were just counting down to
That's
that
always
date.
going to work. That
Exactly.
effect, that
Exactly.
shtick, if you will, is always going to work
Yeah.
to me.
Yeah.
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 The Korean War breaks out, and
Mhm.
Noah takes the entrance exam for this prestigious college in Tokyo. In episode 6, you find out he gets in, and I guess we can kind of slip and slide down the last 2 or 3 episodes.
Right.
Did
right.
you have
Yeah.
notes for 6, 7, and 8?
I didn't have notes. I kind of had like broad thoughts.
Okay, go for it.
I think it's like coming back from the war. So they have a 5-year time jump. They obviously have to rebuild from World War II. And then you have the Korean War. And so it's like Noah being in this college, he's being introduced. It's an expansion of his worldview, where up until then, you were talking about earlier in the episode where Sunja kind of have shielded them to an extent.
She doesn't cry in front of them. That was the whole thing in the earlier episodes where she's like, never
Yeah.
let the kids see you cry. Always show them your smiling face. And so how does that bear out in Noah's life? He ends up not wanting to go to college because of the extra expense, the $2,400, that the family can't afford.
Yeah. And then he all of a sudden can go to college. And
Right. Well, Sunja takes him to see his little girl that serves the tofu girl.
the tofu girl, yes, the tofu girl.
I love everything that she says to him, but the thing that stuck out to me was that she's saying your world is very small
Yeah. Yeah.
and very insulated,
Yes.
and you need to get out. You're a big fish in a small pond. You need to get out to that big pond.
hmm Yeah. And I think college did that for him.
Yeah.
To the best and the worst, negative and positive reasons, yes.
You see the
Because-
classes that he takes and how he's learning, and he meets his college girlfriend.
Who I did not like.
Oh my gosh, what a hussy.
I did not like her at all.
Oh my God. Nothing about her did I like too. I
No.
was struggling.
Not at all.
Yeah.
I mean, it was clear. It was another, like, it was clear she was taking advantage of him again. It was like, it was a common thread you saw. And I was weirded out on why And maybe it was just the fact that like he had a kind of innocence from that because he was so shielded or whatever. But it's like before this, he was so. And also, obviously, he also had that thing of like, I don't want to be Korean. So I think his girlfriend somewhat made him feel Japanese, even though she had ulterior motives
That's
and
an interesting
was
take. Okay.
not a good person. But I think even though he was very critical and very in high school and like in school before he went to college, he did not like being Korean, but he also was what's the word I'm looking for? Cynical. Like he was suspicious of everybody. In college, he seemed like all of that went out the window. Either he was just like, he was excited about learning things and having his world be expanded.
Yeah.
But he didn't have those same walls up, so he didn't see this horrible person that he was dating.
Let me
and
just
how
say,
being taken advantage of he was in that relationship.
yeah, everybody. More often than not, there's a crazy story of your first girlfriend or boyfriend in college, and rarely does it work out.
Right.
I think this is a classic tale as old as time thing, where he's enticed by her difference of opinion and her tenacity and her spunk and the attitude that stems from her privilege.
Right. Exactly.
You know? So they were not well matched at all, but that didn't matter. It's college. He's of age, away from home. He's fucking around. And I do appreciate that they showed them having different conversations and interpretations of text that they are like literature that they're learning in class. And he's constantly calling her out on her shit, clocking her tea. And he's like, you come from a privileged background. You're Japanese. You have no idea what a struggle is. And so you're not going to get the appeal of whatever this lit is. Or you're not going to get what's missing from this literature and what makes it flawed. Throughout, he's just reading her. And she is intrigued by his truth bombs, I guess.
Yeah, because I don't think she's ever...
Because she's never had someone challenge her like that.
Right.
So that's also part of the appeal of each of them staying with the other. And she gets a thrill out of like manipulating him sexually.
Yes, absolutely.
But he knows this.
Right. He knows this.
He's
and
not
he still
ignorant of everything
it.
that she's doing. It was
to fit in. It was to fit in, I think.
Oh, yeah.
I think to an extent it was to fit in because he knew he was Korean, she was Japanese.
Yeah.
Like that was never going to change.
The moment when he goes to have dinner with Hansu, was Lee Min-ho's character, and this pernicious bitch shows up to the dinner.
Oh, I was so mad.
And just kind of parading it around and looking like I know something you don't, and I don't care that you told me I can't go here and meet this man. Just so smug.
So smug.
She's so smug. And she sees how he bristles at her coming and entering this space and meeting, even though it is such a betrayal.
And to an extent, like, he did not know at that time that Lee Min-ho was his dad.
I'm sure that he suspected there's a deeper connection.
Of course. Yeah. And he obviously, as we said, saw what he did in that field to that person.
Yeah.
But I think he generally grew to like those dinners. He grew to like the conversations that he had with Hansu. And while he was wanting to hide that from people because it's very clear Hansu's funding his college, he also wanted to keep it private because it was something he sort of looked forward to.
Oh, I saw it the other way, that he was sort of ashamed that he had to pay his respects to Hansu every month or whatever.
Oh,
at
interesting.
This dinner.
Okay.
Yeah. That's how I saw it. But that's fine. Like, I love your take too.
I understand the ashamed part because, he did not like that he was funding his college. Absolutely not.
No.
Absolutely not. And he didn't understand why. Yeah, I definitely agree. Like, there are aspects of this relationship he did not want and he did not like.
Yeah.
But I think the conversation, though, he looked forward to
Oh, okay.
because Hansu
Sure.
was knowledgeable and was able to keep up with his thoughts and his. Because I think Noah is an old soul. I think, yes, he liked.
Yes. Oh, what a
I
great. Ooh, yes.
yes, he liked bickering with this girl and going back and forth. But I think Eamon Ho's character gave him a perspective on this literature that he's reading that he wasn't getting from anybody else in college. So I think he looked forward to the conversation, and not necessarily having to go to dinner with this guy
Mm,
and
okay.
knowing that he was funding his college, but I think the conversation was
Stimulating.
stimulating. Yeah.
All this time, Noah has been telling it like it is, clocking her shit, and like she laughs as she says, "Don't you realize this man is your dad?" Referring to
Yeah.
Hansu. This man is your father. And he flies at her. He starts choking her out. There's like immediate violence.
Uh-huh.
And he instantly goes back to Hansu to verify.
Yeah.
And Hansu had this opportunity to do the right thing,
Yep.
which was
Absolutely.
lie and say, "No, I'm not your father." Because throughout all of these years, it's so clear that Noah has a differing personality. These are two disparate people. Even if they're blood related, they have very little in common in the way that they think and the way they act. Noah is so gentle.
Right. The product of Sunja raising
The
him.
product of Sunja raising him, the product of the lessons of Isak, his adoptive father. And the fact that Imino looks him in his face and says, "Yeah, yep, you are my son. You are my son. And don't you worry about nothing, because I'm going to pave a way for you. No one's going to make fun of you. No one's going to give you issues or trouble, because I will make it so."
Yeah.
And it scares the shit out of Noah.
Absolutely. And then top it on the fact he just went at it with his girlfriend. So
Yeah.
all of a sudden he's like, crap,
I just
I'm
acted
even
like
more
him.
like the guy. Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm just even more like the guy. It must be genetic. I felt so bad for him in that
It
scene.
was
I'm
a
just
whole
like,
whirlwind of
no.
emotions that came over Noah.
Yeah.
You feel horrible for him. It's crushing. And
Mhm.
all these qualities of virtue and righteousness and forgiveness that he has exhibited are called into
Yeah.
question.
Right.
Because this guy, this Yakuza asshole, is my dad.
Yeah.
So I love that. I just thought it was so devastating and
So devastating. And to an extent, I think Eamon Ho's character, again, I don't think he cared about the guy. I don't think he cared about Sunja. But he needed that. There was some like egotistical tyrannical thing of like, this guy is my bloodline. I'm going to do everything in my power to make him as powerful as possible and give him the advantages that I had to fight for, because I can't have no son of mine is going to be living in a farm in the middle of nowhere for the rest of his life. Like, but it was nothing to do with love and nothing to do with actually
wanting the
caring
best for
about.
him.
Exactly. It was like, you are going to be as prestigious as me because
Yeah.
my image is everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So ostensibly, this sends Noah spiraling, and
Mhm.
I thought he was going to commit suicide.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. The way he said bye to Sunja, I was like, he's gone. There's no way. There's no way. I'm like, he's a goner. He's not coming back for season 3. There's no way.
Oh, dang. But come to find out, he just drops off the map. Like, he sells
Yep.
the watch, which was a token from season 1 that, like, he did the same thing as his mom, which was sell it to a pawn shop to get some cash, and just started a whole new life in another city. I think it was a pachinko parlor that he just rocked up to and said, "Hey, do you need help? I'm looking for
Yep.
some part-time work." And the guy was like, "You're not one of those Koreans, are you?"
Yeah.
And
he's
he
like,
says, "No," and gives a totally different Japanese name.
Yeah. Just like his teacher.
Ooh.
Yeah. I'm really curious if we're going to get his character in season 3, because either he's gone for the rest of the show, because again, we didn't read the book, so I have no idea, or they're going to find him again eventually and find out what happened, or hear, I don't know, maybe he has a wife and kid and whatever.
Yeah.
But his performance, Kim Kan-hoon and Kan Tae-ju, like the kids, the actors who played this guy, they were phenomenal.
I
in
thought
this
so
season.
too.
Like,
They were
so
unassailable.
good. So good.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, we have to talk about the aunt and her husband.
Oh,
Like the aftermath
lead us
of
in.
that.
Lead us in.
Oh my God. I hated his character so much, and I felt so bad for her. So bad, because so he's alive, Lee Min-ho saves him, brings him back. He is I don't even know. Like, he's a jerk. He's a jerk the entire time.
Yep.
And it's like, oh, woe is me. And yes, it's understandable to an extent. Of course, you survived the atom bomb. Like, obviously.
Yeah.
But it's like, you are taking it out on your wife and everybody around you, and you're making everybody miserable, and you're wallowing in your bedroom upstairs.
Precisely.
And like, people are walking on eggshells around you because you can fly off the handle anytime at all.
Yes,
and it's
textbook
just like,
abusive.
Exactly.
Husband, father. I thought this was really smart of the show to do, because maybe he could have turned over a new leaf and thought, gosh, I'm lucky to be alive. I actually survived the fucking atom bomb in Nagasaki. And my whole family is alive. Well, except for his brother, except for Isak. But that had nothing to do with really wartime.
Right.
You know, there's a lot of things to be thankful for. And he just fell back on bitterness. And
and I think
letting
also,
his trauma dictate his whole life, and being aggressive and demanding to his poor wife, who was praying and desperate for him to live and return.
Yeah. And what I find is really ironic is he had that whole conversation with Lee Min-ho.
He was emasculated. He never recovered.
And he was emasculated, never recovered. They both had ego problems.
Oh, yeah.
And he definitely would not have admitted that. He definitely was like, I'm nothing like Lee Min-ho's character. I'm nothing like Hansu. I care about my family. Blah, 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 blah. Dude, you're exactly like him. You're exactly like him when it comes to ego and narcissism. Hansu just is dressed nicer. Like, it was really, I found it really ironic that this guy hated Lee Min-ho's character so much, and then ended up basically destroying this family.
Yeah, being a burden
in
to
a
them.
way. Yeah, being a burden when he really didn't have to be. Like,
no, exactly. Like once he
yeah.
recovered, he didn't really take up the mantle of leading the family and providing for the family, and just even doing the baseline things that the gender roles said he should do. He just wanted the title of being head of the family.
Right. Exactly.
And didn't do any of the work to support the family.
Yeah.
And then berated his wife for like her cooking. It was sad.
Yeah. So, I mean, I can't blame his wife, because they never, other than that kiss, and nothing, if I remember correctly, nothing happened beyond that. But it was definitely like an emotional affair.
Absolutely.
The scenes that she would have in that house where they like avoided each other, obviously, with the bodyguard. And like, you could like, I remember I don't remember what episode it was. It was like she was laying in bed and he was eating an apple or eating something that was making noise in the kitchen. And it's like, she knew it was him in that room. She knew, just because.
Well, she left that food out for him.
Right. It's like those little things you saw in the last 2 or 3 episodes of, they're not like sneaking around because they're not having a physical affair, but like they're definitely having emotional affair and like doing these small little things, which everybody notices, obviously.
There's attraction, there's tension, there's an understanding between them. And he, you know, I guess that character's name is Chang-ho. Chang-ho, the bodyguard. Is his love based on pity? I don't know. Maybe.
A little bit, maybe.
Also, the thrill of she's highborn.
Right.
And he's not.
Yeah.
So this class divide is also between them. And I'm sure that as he said in one of the episodes, like, we would never even be able to talk if we were back in Korea.
Right. And I think also, to an extent, I think the instinct kind of what came in too is like he is a bodyguard. So when he's seeing this horrible man just like berate his wife.
Yeah, the
and
protection instinct, I guess.
Yeah, yeah. I think to an extent that kind of kicked in too. But
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, the Yosef was like a wastrel, so unreliable,
Mm.
just turning everybody upside down, inside out. And I love Musashu, who's now a teenager, again, going toe to toe with Yosef and saying like, "Can't you just like do something? Why are you
Right.
here?"
Right.
Like, and talk shit at the dinner table.
Yeah.
Which again, I feel like in the West, that would be a lot more acceptable to disrespect an elder like that.
Oh, of course. Absolutely. Yeah.
But it's really charged here because that's not typical. Like, they need to fall in line. He is the eldest. He is the technically head of the family. He's, got all this clout, but he's not delivering on the responsibilities.
Right. Yeah. And the fact that she
And just
like
bringing
he-
everybody
how-
down.
How long was he in that? Wasn't it like over a year that he never left that house? It was at
Yes.
least a year, if not more.
Mhm.
And again, he obviously is covered in
Well, I thought it
scars
was
and
5
burns or whatever.
years.
Or maybe it was long. Maybe it was way longer than I don't
Maybe, I
know. It
think-
was a really long time
Yeah.
because when he finally did leave, they saw that like baseball game. I think it was baseball.
Oh, yeah, the
On the
American
street.
pastime. And look, Japanese to this day fucking love baseball.
Love baseball.
Yeah.
Love baseball. Yeah. The fact that it took you a baseball game to realize your wife was unhappy.
The joy of life, what he's
yeah.
been missing.
Yeah. And then God, when she had to let him go, when she had to say bye to him.
Oh, no, stop. Because
Oh,
actually the
my
bodyguard,
God.
come to find out, he's like North Korean.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know if he was
And-
from
and-
Pyongyang, but I can't remember. But he was basically eating up all of this communist propaganda
Yeah.
and wanting
Yeah.
to join the Korean War
Right.
and fight on
Yeah.
behalf of the North.
Yes.
And their goodbye.
Oh, again, I was bawling my eyes out.
Yeah.
I was
And
like,
then the
oh,
fucking,
God.
oh, God. Anyway, long story short, the Yosef ends up even withholding letters that the bodyguard sends to her, very
Mhm.
notebook style.
Mm-hmm.
I guess he was like,
Yeah.
well, if she stayed, even after I told her she could leave with him back to Korea, then I'm going to make sure she stays here, like that she's loyal
Right.
and there's no
Right.
contact between them.
So we're
Just
never
so
seeing that dude
insecure.
again.
Just such an insecure little man.
So insecure and so yeah. And I don't think we don't have him in the 80s, right? Or present day? I don't think so.
No. No. We don't have
I
Yosef.
can't remember if they said why.
I mean, I can't
or
imagine
whatever.
he'd live another 40 years after getting
It's true.
an atom bomb to the face. But
That's true. That's true.
anyway, that's neither here nor there. Let's talk about Anna Sawai and the whole backstabbing that happens
Yeah.
really fast.
Yeah. Which we kind of touched on because Solomon being a jerk for most of it.
Solomon's an asshole, but Anna
He's a-
Sawai is also an asshole, and they
A
are
little
actually
bit,
really
yeah.
well matched,
They are very well matched, yes.
right? They're both in the same corporate world of billion-dollar real estate. She is very competent at her job, and the only thing that holds her back is the fact that she's a woman. So she's facing gender discrimination in the workplace.
Yep.
Major. Their whole romance really gets going when he tells her to her face, like, you should be running this place.
Right.
You're the best person they got here. And starts to compliment her in a valid way because it's all true. And she was like, thank you. I agree. Let's get together. Come
Right.
to find out, she is also highborn, right? Like, technically, she comes from a wealthy background. Her parents have expectations of who she should marry. And instead of, and this is classic K-drama, I have to say.
Yes.
Classic K-drama. And they're an interracial couple.
Yep.
And instead
the
of
80s.
in the 80s, and instead of her being proud of him and showing him off and introducing him to her family. Like she ends up getting introduced to his family because she meets Sunja.
Mm-hmm.
She keeps everything about them a secret and still continues to see the guy that she has an arranged marriage with.
Yeah.
And the moment that he goes to see her in the restaurant, he follows her from work to the restaurant. She says she had all this work she had to do, yada yada, can't meet tonight. So he's already suspicious after getting those photographs from the Yakuza. Who are these guys?
Dude.
The Yakuza's now in real estate? Okay, fine.
Oh, they've always been in real estate, definitely. It's like the mafia. Like, mafia's always in real estate.
Yeah, so it was just a little, like, off-putting, I guess. Is everyone part of the Yakuza? I had all these questions, and I think I just missed it. But anyway, they tell him she's cheating on you. There's something about her that we have this on her. You can use it.
Yeah.
To get what you want. And he has to confirm for himself. And he locks eyes with her in the restaurant in the mirror.
Mm-hmm.
Which, again, every time you have a mirror, it's like an identity crisis. Somebody's two-faced. She doesn't acknowledge him.
Yep.
She looks away.
Mm-hmm.
The moment she sees him in the mirror, though, I love how her facial expressions change.
Oh, yeah. Definitely.
Expert.
Definitely.
Expert. And that's it. He decides to break up with her.
Get his revenge on her as well as everybody else.
Yeah. But I mean, even before that, when they break up, he's like, would you... Well, I can't remember what he even says to her, but he's like, can you promise to not take meetings with this dude that your parents want you to marry and be loyal to me and be proud of this relationship, basically. Yep. And she says, I'll try.
Yeah.
He's like, not good enough. Bye. And that turns into... He gets her fired. He
knows how, like, it's funny because she, even though in this workplace, she's trying to climb to the top and trying to fight and break through that glass ceiling that is gender discrimination. He's doing the same thing, but in their relationship. He never could do that with her family, so he's not going to let her do that at work.
At this point, it was life or death for him because the Yakuza were basically like, okay, we need to get this deal done now, or else we're going to take it out on you and your flesh. So you choose.
Right. But I mean, he was an asshole doing it. I mean, it wasn't a good look for him.
No,
I mean,
and the shot of the old lady leaving her property.
Yeah.
With nothing. She just has her dog.
Mm-hmm.
And he doesn't get out of the car to say anything to her, to offer any words of encouragement, to say you did the right thing. Nothing. Right. She just leaves with this giant wad of cash in her bank account, and everything that she built is gone. He made her give up this property that she had lived with trauma and the suspicions that this property is literally sitting on top of bones.
Right.
It was, I mean, it's like unassailable. How do you do that?
Right.
How do you exploit that and her trauma?
Yeah.
He's an asshole.
Yeah.
So, yeah, a lot to unpack there. But just to wrap it up, I think that it was very telling that Anna Sawai's character doesn't cry when she breaks up with Solomon. She cries when she's fired.
Absolutely. Yeah.
That was her priority. That was where she wanted to excel in.
And I think she's meeting this guy for an arranged marriage. It's the 80s. It's very traditional. She comes from a high class family, so they obviously have traditions that lower class families don't. I mean, it's old blood, right? Maybe to an extent too, and this is how I kind of interpret it, is like she's going to be a housewife. She's not, and she doesn't want that. She does not want that. But her getting fired, she's going to have to accept that, because she's going to marry this guy. And
that
to
was
an
her
extent,
ticket.
Maybe, yeah, exactly. Or at least in a way that she could marry this guy and still have the job, And maybe we didn't really get an insight of her relationship with her family other than them wanting her to meet this guy. So maybe it was kind of a rebellion thing where she had this job
Absolutely.
And
And they hint at that too with, I think
a
she
little
had
bit,
slept with
yeah.
the white guy.
Yeah, she did.
And he says, like, maybe it was this, maybe it was that. Maybe it was because it was the thrill of just the rebellion of it all.
Yeah.
She's
Yeah.
sleeping with a white guy. Very, very similar to Noah and his college girlfriend.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah.
Generational.
Mm-hmm.
Gosh, I don't have much else to say other than as a woman, I was very sad and I empathized with her.
Absolutely. Yeah.
But that's just the way the cookie crumbles.
Yeah, I mean, like, at the end of the day, they both jabbed at each other. Like, I think both of them did bad things to each other to get what they want and to get
Exactly.
ahead.
Yeah.
And she lost. Like, she lost. That's plain and simple. Is like she threw him under the bus multiple times, and he did the same. Doesn't make him a better person, absolutely not. But it also doesn't make her a saint either. I think this relationship was never going to work out. They had too much ambition between the two, and the work environment that they worked in did not cater to collaboration. They
Ooh.
catered to competition.
Yes.
And so it eventually was going to come to this boiling point where someone in the between the two of them was going to win, at least
Yeah.
professionally.
Yeah.
And I mean, at the beginning of the season, he was the one losing because he had gotten fired and was trying to figure out what to do next. She was still working there.
Whew. Wow. We've unpacked a lot, and I think we're at the end of the show.
So there's this one quote I did write down. I think this was at the very end of the show. Like, I know it happened in the last episode, but I want to say it was like the last scene, maybe.
Okay.
Or maybe Noah's was the last scene. But either way, I'll read it.
Oh, Noah's was the last scene. You're right.
Well, this definitely happened in the show. So it says it was Sunja when she was talking to her son at the kitchen table in the present day. It was her and
Musashu.
Yeah, Musashu. Whatever it is, you and I are here, though so many of those we have loved are gone. We are here sitting at this table, and Solomon is here as well. And you were saying earlier where food was a huge thing, mainly more in season 1 than season 2, but I think they had a lot of shots anytime they were in this household, in the present day house, around this kitchen table. And I think overall people view the kitchen table overall in a household as one of those type gathering places, you know? So, and I think, due to this being around food and Korean culture is around food in general, I think it was kind of
Fitting?
Fitting. Yeah, it was fitting to have these more serious, and granted, most of the shots of her kitchen table in the present day was dark lighting. It was usually not happy moments because it was only her and her son living in the house, but it was still around this kitchen table, and it was still that centerpiece of family that you see throughout the generations in this show.
Yeah.
So I felt that was very fitting, and then the quote helped it along due to we're still a family, we're still here no matter who's around this table and who's not.
I like that. So season 3, hopefully we find out what happened. Again, we haven't read the book, so we don't know. We're just going off of the TV show.
Yeah.
We're going to find out what happens to Noah, what happens to the rest of the family. And I still think it's a fantastic show. Highly recommend. If you've gone this far and we spoiled the shit out of it for you, definitely sit there and watch it. It's only 8 episodes. I did a free trial of Apple TV Plus to binge it in like 2 or 3 days. You can do that. Or you could just purchase a month of Apple TV Plus and watch it.
I also's ending on season 4, I want to say.
Okay.
So you could also just wait until all 4 seasons are out.
In the next
and just watch.
4 years?
In the next 7 years.
Yeah. The way that streamers put out. It's a different conversation that I feel like I've already had.
Yeah.
But yeah, thank you so much for going on this journey with me through the 40s and 50s and 80s in Japan. It was a very rich text.
Oh, absolutely. And I don't think we even delved into everything.
We didn't. We
honestly.
didn't cover everything. There's going to be something like we stop this podcast and be like, oh shit, we didn't talk about this. And that
Yeah.
happens for every podcast, right? There's
Yeah,
only
yeah.
so much you can cover. It is 8 hours of television. We can't cover that much, but
Right,
I think we
right.
tried our best. And we'd love to talk to you guys more about season 2 of Pachinko if you like. Caitlin, where can people find you online?
You can find me on Instagram, TikTok, maybe. I
don't know
started a
what's
YouTube
happening.
channel. You can find me on YouTube as well under the same name, No Sleep, the number 4 Dramas. I also have the podcast, which I put on YouTube and Spotify. So yeah, DM me, hit me up.
Nice. Thank you again, Caitlin. And that's been our show. I'm Jessica, and this has been the Daebak K-Rambles Podcast.